In the sultry haze of a Jackson autumn, where the leaves clung stubbornly to oaks like secrets too heavy to shed, the Belle Collective gathered under the guise of glamour and gossip, their sisterhood a tapestry woven from triumphs and tattered trusts, now fraying at the edges with the sharp scissors of social media scandals. Season 6 Episode 3, It Goes Down in the DMs, aired on October 17, 2025. Like a thunderclap over the Mississippi skyline, pulling back the velvet curtain on fractures that had simmered since the season's explosive premiere. Latia Pearson, the poised powerhouse behind Women Brunch Mississippi, whose events transformed ordinary brunches into boardrooms of black excellence, found her carefully rebuilt world teetering once more on the precipice of her estranged husband Glenn's indiscretions. The episode opened with Latia in her sun-drenched kitchen, sunlight filtering through lace curtains like hesitant apologies, as she scrolled through her phone, her manicured nails pausing on a group chat notification that read like a harbinger. "Sis, we need to talk about Mandy." Mandy, Latrice Rogers' charismatic cousin and a fresh face in the extended Belle Orbitus stylist with a flair for full lashes and fearless facials, who had become the unwitting, or perhaps witting, messenger of mayhem. Earlier that week, during a low-key lunch at Hi Hat Cafe, where plates of shrimp and grits steamed with unspoken steam, Mandy had dropped the bomb. Screenshots of Glenn's DMs lighting up her notifications, messages laced with compliments on her radiant vibe and net boss energy, emojis of fire and hearts punctuating prose that blurred the line between friendly fire and flirtatious frenzy. Latia's reaction was a masterclass in measured fury, her full lips pressing into a thin line, eyes narrowing like a storm gathering over the delta, but her voice steady as she quipped, "Not again, Glenn. This ain't our first rodeo, but it might be our last lap." The Bells, ever the vanguard, mobilized instantly. Latrice, the real estate maven with a Rolodex rivaling a Fortune 500, slammed her fist on the oak table, her gold bangles clanging like alarm bells, declaring, "Cousin or not, if Mandy's stirring this pot, we're turning up the heat on Glenn." Marie Hamilton Abston, the obgyn whose clinic walls echoed with births and breakthroughs, offered clinical counsel over chamomile tea, dissecting the psychology of digital dalliances. "It's not just attraction, it's avoidance." Glenn dodging the work of reconciliation by chasing validation elsewhere. Dembra Sherry, the boutique hotelier whose empire rose from ruins of her own relational rubble, scrolled furiously for patterns, her brow furrowed under perfectly arched arches, noting how these DMs echoed Glenn's past peccadillos with Antoinette, that spectre from seasons past whose shadow still loomed large at family barbecues. Selena Johnson, the resilient realtor whose own heart had weathered widowhood's gale force winds, pulled Latia into a fierce embrace, her whisper fierce, "We got you, Queen, and no man dims your crown." But the episode's pulse quickened with Selena's subplot, a poignant pivot from marital mess to maternal mending. Hosting an all-white affair, a pristine pop-up event at her sprawling backyard oasis, white linens billowing like surrender flags against azure skies, crystal flutes chiming with Chardonnay toasts, Selena finally confronted the roots of her relational rot with husband Mike. Their union, strained by his emotionally evasive maneuvers, had hit a nadir when Mike's radio silence during a family crisis left Selena screaming into voicemails void of response. In a raw therapy-tinged Harris talk, candles flickering like fragile hopes, Selena laid it bare. "Mike, your quiet ain't PC, it's prison. I need words, not walls." Mike, broad-shouldered and brooding, his fade fresh but his facade cracking, admitted the armor forged from his own father's abandonment, the fear of vulnerability that made communication a casualty. Their exchange, captured in golden hour glow, was therapy in technicolor, tears tracing trails down Selena's cheeks as Mike vowed verbal vigilance, their hands clasping like lifelines over a charcuterie cascade. Meanwhile, the new Belle, Carrie Paul, a vivacious venture capitalist with ventures in vegan soul food and a vibe that screamed unapologetic ambition, dipped her toes into the drama pool, bonding with Latrice over lattes at Sneaky Bins, where steam rose like sisterly solidarity. Carrie, navigating her own nuptial negotiations with a husband whose supports cued supervisory, shared war stories of weddings that warred with workloads. her laughter a lifeline. Girl, success ain't solitary, it's a squad sport. But shadows lingered, whispers of Marie's romantic roulette, juggling suitors like scalpels in surgery, hinted at future fireworks. Her confessional close-up equates, one man's medicine, another's Musteria, who's prescribing forever. Tempra's tango with Fiancé tilde copyright Leon Simmer 2, a prenup how postponed by passion's pull. Her journal entries voiced over vineyard vignettes revealing resolve. Love's ledger balances when boundaries do. Social media amplified the episode's undercurrent. Instagram stories from the all-white affair going viral, of white roses and white lies blooming in comments sections. Fans flooding with #ProtectTheBelles and #GlenGottaGo, turning private DM daggers into public discourse. Latia, ever the strategist, and in the hour in her home office, a war room of vision boards and velvet journals, penning priorities. My son, my sisters, my sovereignty. Glen's chapter closes if it cramps my crescendo. The camera lingered on her reflection in a gilded mirror, eyes alight with ancestral fire, as Jill Scott's golden swelled, a sonic salve for souls in flux. This wasn't just an episode, it was an excavation, unearthing the DM detritus that dirtied dreams but dared the Belles to dig deeper. Their collective, a coliseum where shade was slain by shine, friendships forged fiercer in the forge of fallout. As credits rolled on the neon-lit night, Jackson's jazz joints humming harmonies of healing, the message resonated raw, in the DMs of doubt. Delete to deploy destiny. The episode's embers smoldered into a second act of reckoning, where confessions cascaded like a pearl river rain, reshaping the Belle Collective's contours from fractured fellowship to fortified front. Picking up the DM debris, late she orchestrated a summit at Tempra's opulent Pearl Street hideaway, a boutique bastion of blush velvets and brass accents, where high tea met high trees on a summoning glen for a glare down that OWN's lenses captured with unflinching intimacy. Glen arrived in tailored remorse, his button-down crisp but his composure creased, hands fidgeting with a faux leather folio of evidence exonerating his exchanges. Baby, it was banter, not betrayal. Amanda must read the room. But Latia, flanked by her phalanx of Belle like a queen's quorum, unleashed a litany laced with love's labor lost. Banter builds bridges or burns them. Glenna years lit a fuse and enter our foundation. Mandy, meeked and mortified in the corner shades, interjected with icy candor. Cues? I forwarded cause family first, but his year the spark I need screenshot ain't shade, it's spotlight on shade. Literis, torn between kin and collective, mediated with maternal might, her voice a velvet verdict. Blood don't bleach the Trully Glen, own it or exit stage left. The confrontation crescendoed in a cacophony of catharses and Glen's gravelly grovels giving way to genuine grief, tears tracing his temple as he evoked their son's soccer sidelines, the shared sacrifices that scripted their saga. Latia's resolve rippled, a reluctant reconciliation glimmering, one more olive branch, but branches break if burdened to therapy Tuesdays or total truce. As the dust settled over decaf espressos, the pivot to Selena's soiree aftermath-infused levity laced with legacy. Post all white, Selena hosted a heritage hike along the Natchez Trace, wildflowers whispering wisdom as she unpacked her poolside plunge from youth, a traumatic dunk by a bullying boy that drowned her delight in depths, mirroring Mike's submerged silences. In a meadow confessional, wild grasses waving like witnesses, Selena shared the scar. Water was wonder till it was weapon. Mike, your quiet drowns me the same. Mike, moved by her metaphor's might, pledged presence, their pact sealed with a picnic prayer, hands intertwined over heirloom cornbread, a vow to verbalize the voyage. Carrie, the newcomer navigating nuptial narrows, confided in Marie during a manicure montage at Spoiled Rotten Salon, where Polish pops of plum mirrored her plight. Husbands with hit helpful but land on hovering, a Carrie Paul don't co-sign control. Marie, mid-swipe on a suitor's sonnet, chuckled through her own crossroads, retirement's whispering, but romances roaring. A two docs debating my diagnosis. One steady script, the other's surprise plot twist. Her dilemma dance delicate, a teaser for tempests ahead, as she toyed with a sapphire solitaire from suitor numero uno, her soliloquy sighing, scalpels save lives, but hearts? That's high-stakes surgery sans sedation. Dembra's thread tug tender too. A TA tilde superscript A TA tilde TA tilde superscript AT with Leon at LaFleur's Bluff. Sunset staining the sky sorrel as they sifted prenup previsions. Fiancé tilde copyright S fire fuels, but fine print fortify as love laughs last if Fletcher's lie level. Her fiancé tilde copyright S flinch at fiscal frankness flickered forgiveness. Their embrace in accord amid azaleas, promising partnership over possessiveness. Social media's spectre stalked the sisterhood seams. Shade-throwing side-rise and stories sparking a sidebar symposium at the Belle brainstorming boundaries in a bubble bath brainstorm at Lachia's Luke's lair. Epsom salts swirling like strategies. Block the bots. Bless the buns. The DMs don't dictate our duet. Fans feasted on the fervor. Hash-belled drama dominating Discovery Plus discussions. Threads theorizing Glenn's guilt with gifs of gasping divas. Petitions for Lachia's solo spin-off surging like a second-line parade. The episode etched emotional excavation, from DM digs to deeper dives, showcasing the Belle brilliance in balancing breakage with breakthrough. Silitra's launching a luxury listing launch laced with laughter, her hubby hug halting the hover. Selena's son shout-out swim lesson, turning trauma to triumph with tiny splashes sinking to soulful acts, closing on a collective cookout at the Drace. Smoke signals of smoke tubes rising ritualistic, the women wove wreaths of wisdom. Wines uncorked, woes unpacked, a circle of sage smudges sealing solidarity. Lachia lifted her glass last, garnet glow catching her gaze, DMs down. Destiny's up sisters, we script the sequel. As the screen faded to OWN's ornate outro, the Delta's dusk deepening to diamond-studded dark. It goes down in the DMs delivered not demolition but diamond forging pressure, the Belle emerging burnished, unbreakable, their narrative a neon-lit nod to navigating noise with nobility, where shade scatters but shine sustains, and every message mended maps a mightier march forward.